I am Riya Bhattar, Assistant Professor, Institute of Pharmacy and Research, Vadodara. Today we are going to discuss about the glass distillation assembly, which is used for the preparation of distilled water as well as the water for injection. So this is the whole assembly. This whole assembly is made up of a glass. First we will look at its construction. It contains a control panel which has a main power switch. When you switch on this main power switch, the light is blink, which indicates that your machine is switched on. This is a glass unit known as a heater. It consists of heating coils inside it, which is used to heat the water. This unit is further connected with this glass unit, which is known as condenser. This whole unit is known as a condenser. Inside this condenser, there is a coiled glass tube which is fitted inside it. This condenser has an inlet through which the water is continuously supplied. That water is a cold water, okay, which is supplied through the inlet. Then again this condenser has one outlet to its left side. This outlet is connected to this water level maintainer unit. Further, this water level maintainer unit has another outlet which is used for removing the heated water. Now, distillation is a process which is used for separating the components from a mixture. The process involves the two steps. First of all, the feed liquid water is vaporized and get converted into vapors. That vapors are further condensed into the liquid by the condenser. This is an adapter which is connected with the condenser. This is used for collecting the condensed liquid into this receiver. Now we will look at its working. First of all, switch on the main power supply. Then switch on this control panel switch. Allow the water to fill in this glass heater unit. You should need to take the precaution that this heater should be filled up to this level, that is above the heating coils. If not so, if it is not filled up to this level, your coil may get damaged, due to which your assembly may get damaged. So when the water is allowed to pass through this inlet, it enters directly into this coiled tube. Once it enters and fills this coiled tube, from this outlet it enters through this pipe into the water level maintainer, and through this it enters into the heater. This heater, which contains the heating coil, heats the water. Now you all know that boiling starts when the vapor pressure of the vapors gets equal to the atmospheric pressure. So once the water is boiled, it will convert into the vapors, and that vapors or the steam will pass into this condenser. This condenser and the inside coil tube works on the principle of heat exchanging. Okay, this coil tube has a cold water. Okay, the cold water is continuously supplied to it, and the steam which is entered in this condenser, it is heated steam. Okay, so there is an exchange of heat between this cold water inside the coil tube and the steam which is present in the condenser. The heat from the steam goes into the cold water. Okay, and this cold water causes a cooling of the steam, due to which the liquid from the condenser get condensed, enters into the adapter and is received into the receiver. It takes little time for the water to get heated. As you can see in this heater, the water has started boiling. This water is converted into the vapors, and that vapors are slowly passing to this condenser, The condensation process has been started by exchanging the heat with the cold water which is circulating inside this coiled tube. You can see here the water droplets which has been condensed into the liquid. This water droplets will travel slowly down through this condenser and will enter into this adapter. So through the condensation process, this water droplets are traveling through this condenser into the adapter, which you can see are getting collected into this receiver. This distillation process has a wide variety of applications. It is used for preparation of purified water as well as water for injection. It is also used to separate the non-volatile solids from the volatile liquids such as alcohol and ether. It is also used for preparing official compounds such as aromatic spirit of ammonia, also the spirit of nitrous oxide. Now there is a difference between the purified water and the water for injection. The raw water that we use, that is a tap water, it contains the bacteria, different pyrogens and volatile and non-volatile impurities. So the purified water, when we prepare it by the distillation process, the volatile and non-volatile impurities are removed with the help of this distillation, but still that purified water is liable to get contaminated with the pyrogens. Therefore, to eliminate the pyrogens, the distillation is carried out for the removal of microbes to prepare the water for injection. The difference between the purified water and water for injection is in the terms of these 4 parameters. This is a total organic carbon which should be less than 500 ppb, that is parts per billion, in both purified and water for injection. The conductivity should be less than 1.3 microsiemens per centimeter in both purified water and water for injection. Endotoxins should be less than 2.5 endotoxins unit per 100 ml in both purified water and water for injection. All these 3 parameters and specifications are according to the USP, which are same both for the purified and water for injection. The only specification that differs between this purified water and water for injection is the total aerobic microbial count. This total aerobic microbial count should be less than 100 CFU per 100 ml in the purified water. This CFU is a colony forming unit. And for water for injection, this total aerobic microbial count should be less than 10 CFU per 100 ml. So, this distillation process for the preparation of water for injection should be carried out in the aseptic conditions. Thank you.